Video number 2 shows another mathematics lesson where students were required to research different graphs on their iPads, draw them and interpret their meaning. Initially, I planned for 2 pie charts, 2 bar graphs and 2 line graphs in a 90-minute session. Whilst working productively, some students worked more quickly than others, so I reduced the requirements to 1 of each chart type for students who needed more time on each graph. I did this to ensure that every student had a chance to look at all 3 graph types. The curriculum focus for this lesson was on statistics and data. The lesson served as an informal diagnostic assessment task to revisit prior learning from grade 4 and below, as it had been several months since these students had covered these concepts. After introducing the lesson using a specific example of a pie chart on the board, as shown in the whiteboard photograph, I asked the students to work independently to research their graphs. I allowed the students to select any topic they were passionate about and ensured students were working productively by roving the class, giving reminders where necessary, providing verbal constructive feedback, and observing iPad use. Whilst the iPads have many fantastic uses, students can avoid work by viewing irrelevant material, so it was important that I reinforce the behaviour expectations for safe iPad use. I confiscated one student's iPad for the day, as he was Google searching sports teams instead of working. In order to complete his task without his iPad, he used a class computer, which was viewable from anywhere in the room, so I could ensure that he was on task.
Does this look alike? No, because that's near the same space.
Yep, that's true. All of these look roughly equal on yours, whereas here the green one is quite a bit bigger. But it's good that you spotted that.
Most students were able to interpret the data and tell me what the graph showed.
And gaps in between.
Students selected graphs they were comfortable with, thus allowing each student to work towards their own learning goals.
Yep, so if you can,
students could extend themselves by picking graphs with a large or complex data set. Providing free choice for the graph topics personalised their learning experience and resulted in higher engagement. It was great to have a lesson that incorporated the iPads, as this also increased student engagement and improved ICT skills. Of course, some students required reminders to stay on task, but ultimately, each student completed at least 2 graph types. Early finishers worked in a group to graph the minimum and maximum daily temperatures for the last week using an iPad application known as Numbers.
That you need to interpret your graph, not just draw it. So you need a sentence, and that goes for you, Nancy, too. You need a sentence about what the graph is telling you.
Oh, so can I write blue? Blue is...
You need to do a sentence for the top one.
Do I say like blue is
okay.
more popular than red, yellow, and
yeah.
green?
Our conclusion involves students sharing their work as a class and reading out some of their interesting data interpretations. I felt very comfortable giving this lesson with the grade. The students were responding well to me, and my rapport with them was stronger than in previous lessons. Ultimately, I felt that the lesson was successful as students achieved their learning outcome of familiarising themselves with different graph types.